We're going to do a review of the serve now, Tim.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start by slowly shadowing through the different parts of the motion that we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
So trophy pose started with the racket up and on edge. So pretty across the board, you'll see players trophy pose
right
the racket
okay.
head up.
Okay.
And then the edge of the racket is pointing back towards the camera.
Right.
Strings facing along the baseline.
Okay.
Yep. So that's position one. And then as the body turns, your arm totally loosens and relaxes, and your hand totally loosens and relaxes so the racket drops as far as possible, as vertical as possible. Yep. So that on the way up, the edge of the racket is leading.
Yep.
And then right before is where you release and turn and then come across.
Okay.
So those are the checkpoints.
Right.
So on edge, drop, tip down, up on edge, and then release. Those are the core positions. Yes, good. Good, Tim. Yeah, check this out. Here's the last one you just did. The when your body leads, it enables the arm's looseness. Mm-hmm. The arm can't be loose if it's trying to you're trying to drop it and then swing it up and keep it on
That's what I was trying to do.
It's going to lead to choppiness. It's going to lead to shallow range of motion. Mm-hmm. It's going to lead to injury eventually.
I don't want that.
Yeah, for sure. So here you can see it's being initiated by your body.
Yeah.
And because you're loose, this is the best position you've made your way into. Yeah. Remember yesterday we were looking at Raonic, and his strings were actually inverted and facing down towards the court.
Right.
This is the first time I've seen you actually slightly closed in the back, and it's because your hand and your forearm are so loose, and the body's actually doing the pulling.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Sweet. This is how we get the pull position.
Yeah.
As long as your arm leads, it ends up being a push. It ends up being a pushing position.
Okay. And then from that position, it's that.
Yep. Let's see how you do there. Okay. This looks great. Good edge. And then release after. Looks good. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so let's just do a couple more of those. Same thing. It's looking really good. Yes. Yeah. A few more of the shadows, just hitting the checkpoints. Relax the arm more, Tim.
This arm?
Yep.
Just lucky to be in this shadow.
Good. That's better. Let me show you the difference between the last two. I think, let's see if my eye is correct on this. I think in one point in particular, let's check on this. This is the one I commented on. We're going to look at two things. The angle of the racket. So on this one that I commented on, the angle of the strings, the most closed the strings got was on edge. In other words, perpendicular to the court surface, which is good. That's we would totally take that in real life. The lowest the tip of your racket got was here. We're going to leave a line right here. There we go. So a little bit above waist height is the lowest point the tip of your racket got. I'm curious on this one. It's possible it's the same, but we'll see. So the camera is locked down. Let's see what happens here. This is after I gave you that instruction to relax. Look at this.
Oh, wow. That's
a
racket.
You gained 6 inches of range of motion and depth of drop with the racket. Now you're a little bit below waist height, but the extra looseness in your arm and shoulder allowed a little bit of additional stretch of your arm and shoulder, which dropped the racket lower, and so now we have a longer runway that we can use to build speed and acceleration. Yeah. That's a big chunk of extra range of motion. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
We can build the speed over that much longer of a distance.
Yep.
All right, a few more of those.
Okay.
Nice, good. Okay, Tim, now we're going to continue with that same feeling and the same process, But now we're gonna align it for spin. Same speed, like just keep it real slow, relaxed.
Okay.
All of these swings you've been doing would have delivered a flat serve.
Yep.
And now we're gonna realign the path to make it a topspin serve.
Okay.
That's a little more sidearm than,
Yep.
than upwards, Tim, yeah. I wanna show you specifically what I mean by sidearm. On the right here is the kick serve that we were looking at yesterday. At contact, which we're a little bit between frames here. This is actually a little after contact. The angle of his racket is here,
Yeah.
which means it has not yet made it all the way up to the top. There's the top. And so his racket is still traveling upwards as
Right.
he makes contact. And it's this vertical extension and reach. Look at the angle of his arm at contact. And his racket head is lagging behind a little bit, and then it continues upwards and out to the side
Right,
as
so
he releases.
He's hitting it like that.
Actually,
Not like this.
correct.
He's hitting it
Yes,
like right
correct.
here.
Correct. Yes, but with an even straighter arm. Look at how vertical his arm is.
Right.
And so he's going from his racket drop and extending upwards vertically.
Hitting it.
So watch his extension here
Yeah.
from drop and then up. There's contact, and then he continues on that circular path. So just contrast that to, here's the last one that you did. Here's the drop. And now watch the direction your arm travels in from the drop. And see how much more sideways your arm is traveling?
Yep.
And so when you reach full extension with your arm is here. When he reaches full extension, his arm is here.
Wow, big difference.
Yeah. And so this is always going to be more of a slicey serve.
Have that.
Good. So real quick, just to connect the dots for you. Here's that one that you just did. Drop, and now look at how much more vertical your racket is going.
Oh,
And so,
way more.
yeah, this is great. So ideally, we'd love to be making contact like somewhere around here.
Okay.
And this would probably be about right to be able to get some topspin.
Uh-huh.
And then that's peak extension. Anywhere in this range from here to here, and we're cooking. Like the ball will turn end over end towards the other side of the court.
Right.
It's beyond here, if we were to make contact anywhere past that point, that we start getting into slider
Slice.
zone or slice. Yeah, more so slice than slider. The slider was more of a like a downward.
Okay.
So this is great. Good, great. That had a little bit more high to low to balance out the right to left. It's not that the right to left is bad, but we're just really searching for the vertical margin. Yeah, good.
There you go.
Good shape. So let's check that real quick, Tim. Remember the angle of Milos's racket at contact?
Uh-huh.
So just based on my experience working with like myself and it's real hard for players to get those first couple of degrees.
Yeah.
So like that last one, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm guessing it's right about vertical. And if we're one click to the right of, to the left of vertical, then that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just to set, kind of expectations.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Right at
Vertical.
vertical. So
Look at that.
if we can make one click in this direction, like that'd be big.
Okay.
You'll see a very clear difference in how the ball is traveling.
Okay.
There's contact. You're just past vertical,
Yep.
which is good considering that we came from a very sidearm, kind of serve.
Yeah.
Now remember, additionally, Milos's arm angle was like here, and his racket angle was like here. And so when you look at your arm angle here, you have about the same spread between your arm and the racket, but your whole thing is just out to the right a little further.
Right.
So in other words, if we can put the ball like 6 inches more to the left, it will help you be able to achieve that angle
So it's
on the way up.
almost directly overhead.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's shoot for the goal of seeing a serve where you're making contact one click to the left of vertical would be awesome. Great, Tim.
Starting to feel it, I think. Slight.
Yeah, great. Let's check that one. I like that contact point a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see that one. Here it is. So look at the toss location on this one. So it's going to be much closer to overhead at contact compared to before. Oh man, it's going to be close. Oh, there's contact. It's so close. You're a little bit left of vertical. That's good. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good progress. I told him we were looking for one frame left of was what we're to make contact.
Close.
That's good. Remember when we started like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah. I
was
was way over here.
You were a clicker to the right of vertical. So we've brought it back to this point, which is great. So we're making good progress. When you go home and you keep working through this, your goal should be to keep inching it, a little bit more to the left. I'm talking about the racket, not necessarily the ball.
Right.
But you may also have to move the ball, inch it a little bit to the left to achieve that angle with the racket on the way up. But your arm now is much more vertical than it was before. And your racket, it's just to the left of vertical, which is great. So we're moving in the right direction. That's what makes that shape with the ball. It's so high over the net.
It is. Look at that.
I mean, that's probably 3 feet.
I've never been able to get one in.
That's probably 3 feet over the top of the net.
Unless I do it underhand.
And it's inside the line.
Wow.
And you're doubling the height of the net.
Wow.
That's fantastic. So that's your second serve.
And your first serve.
I'd like just for you to really internalize it and get used to it. Just hit this serve for at least a month or two.
Yeah.
Just to really gain confidence in it and learn to trust the height and the shape of it.
Yeah.
And also dial in the exact angle and to find the right mix of like vertical and side spin. You're still putting a lot of side spin on this. Like you can obviously see it. And the path of the ball and then the bounce is curving over to the left.
Yeah.
But I would say at this point, it's probably about 50-50, like you're balancing it out with vertical. If we can tip over a little further towards the vertical side of it, that would be even better.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is your second serve before. Look at the freaking clear,
Wow.
the clearance over the top of the net on this one. It's like a laser beam over the top of the net. And the reason why is because you previously were coming down and to the right past the ball.
Yep.
And so you're creating backspin and side spin compared to topspin and side spin. Now the racket's traveling upwards as you make contact. Previously, the racket was traveling downwards as you made contact.
Yeah.
So what backspin does is it extends the flight of the ball and it levels it out. If you put a lot of backspin on the ball, it stays flatter, straighter for a longer period of time, whereas topspin forces the ball downwards. So this serve was making it harder to be consistent because it was leveling out and straightening and flattening the trajectory of the ball. And this one,
that makes sense.
We're curving the ball the opposite direction so we can hit it 10 times higher over the top of the net and still have it be in the box. Whereas this one was...
Because it's going to dive.
I mean, you're hitting close to the same spot in the box, but with tiny, tiny margin over the top of the net. And this is you being careful, by the way. Like
Yeah.
this was your second serve, where
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, I want to get it in, so I'm gonna play it safe.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable with this, the faster you swing, the safer it is,
Yeah.
because it curves more and more and more.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite of what you had before.
Yeah, I had to slow down the serve.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's no way you can go fast.
This is
right.
freaking huge on your on your serve. So I hope you really
Oh, I do.
commit to it
I will.
and put in, the boring repetitions is going to
Yeah.
be how you groove this in.
Yeah.
It's very different
Yeah.
from what you were doing before. It's going to take a lot of concentration.
Yeah, I will. I will. No doubt. Yeah. Yep.
Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
Good work.
Thanks.